I've managed to figure out the whole Facebook Live, so now we're going to do it properly. Welcome to the Monday Moon. This is a session I do every Monday for about half an hour around lunchtime, and the idea is that we together spend 30 minutes exploring today's lunar inspiration. The moon, of course, isn't just new or full, it's always in transit in between. And although kind of those big headline events a couple of times a month is where we like to focus, actually there's loads of inspiration and information we can get from what the moon is doing every single day. So this session is designed just to give you a little bit of insight into the daily moon, what it might mean, what it looks like. I'm just going to figure out my framing slightly, and to give you hopefully some ideas, some inspiration for a little bit of how you might want to set your meditation, or some insights or messages you might want to bring into your week. So today the moon is in Libra, and we actually have a gorgeous full moon coming up on Thursday that I'm epically excited about because I'm a Scorpio. Full moon in Scorpio is in any case super powerful, super kind of watery and transformative and exciting, and it's a really big vibrational kind of shift for all of us, but especially those of us who have Scorpio heavily in our charts. So this move today into Libra, Libra's kind of the last stop before we get to Scorpio as you work around the chart. So this stop is kind of our last opportunity to take a little pause before we get to this big transformative moment of fullness in Scorpio. So Libra is the seventh house. It's the house of, often it's called love or relationships, partnerships. I tend to prefer the word harmony. And actually we just recently were having a full moon in Libra. I spent a lot of time talking about harmony and kind of the law of attraction, as opposed to thinking about this transition in terms of just relationships and romance. So for me, the law of attraction and harmony is simply about that kind of age-old ideology of getting what you give out and getting back what you put out into the world. So the law of attraction is basically about the idea that you receive what you get what you receive. If you send out bad vibes, you get them straight back at your face. If you send out gorgeous, healing, positive vibes, then that's what comes back your way. So for me, the theme this week, or today really, for Libra Moon, is very much about that harmonious way of thinking, thinking about what do I need to put more balance into my life, where can I feel more from the heart, Anahata chakra, which is the chakra associated with Libra and with this harmonious vibe. Where do I want to let my heart rather than my head do the thinking? And really, as we reach the end of Taurus season, the theme for Taurus has been abundance and reframing abundance, reframing our ideas of what abundance is, particularly at the moment. The having and having not of stuff is something that's really prevalent for all of us. So I'm using today's Libra moon just to almost start closing off those inner conversations with myself about abundance and what I think I need or should have or have had, or what my values are, particularly around stuff and material possessions, so that I can find some harmony in those responses and then park all of that as we get into the full moon on Thursday. So how to work with the daily moon. Your tools totally depend on what speaks to you. I personally work loads with crystals, and right now today I'm working with labradorite, which has really nothing to do with Libra, so it's more of a Scorpio stone, but as I said, I'm super excited about Scorpio full moon, so I'm already kind of accelerating into my Scorpio energetics. But labradorite, which is this gorgeous kind of rainbowy, it's really hard to see in this light actually, kind of like opaly rainbowy, bit of black, dark, opaque, hard to see, just like a Scorpio. This stone is really the stone of transformation. It's a really great stone to have with you through change. It's a great companion through change and helps with balancing perseverance, creativity through perseverance, and it's really a stone to help you access your intuitive, your third eye aspect. So as we come out of this quite heart-centered and actually quite grounded Taurian season into something a bit more heightened and heady and intuitive, this is a really nice stone to carry with you. So I use them by holding them in my palms when I'm meditating, or just having them in my grid if I'm making one, which I'm not this morning. I also like to work with oils, just because they smell really great, but also they help me to, I guess knowing what each oil means or represents helps me to keep my focus on my intention, my awareness on my intention. People often think with meditation you have to empty your mind, and actually I would say it's much more about stilling your mind. Working with mantras, sense, anything that helps you keep your focus and your intention, the subject of your meditation, I think is great. So for me, these essential oils work really well, and today I'm using the last of my Taurus mix, which is a mixture of grounding and sensual stuff. So Taurus is very much grounded in the earth. We all know Taurian energy as being very stubborn and kind of rooted. But those of you that have been with my sessions throughout the month will know that Taurus is also this kind of mixture of grounded and kind of wannabe spiritualism. You're kind of really rooted and stuck in the having of stuff, but actually really know there's more. It's just trying to balance that heaven and earth, the above and below. So my mixture that I've been working with, my blend with oils, is a mixture of earthy stuff, so cedarwood and sage, and then more sensual stuff. So I'm working with yang yang and jasmine. And jasmine is actually the really ideal scent to work with for Libra energy, so it's really nice that that's quite prevalent today. And as you probably just saw, I tend to roll this all over myself, over pulse points, and especially under my jaw and around the temples, around the back of the ears. And I usually take it down through my third eye, just under the lip. You don't particularly want to be eating your essential oils, depending on what brand they are, but just underneath the lip, so you get that sense of it into your system that you can inhale without necessarily ingesting. I also tend to work with all sorts of other things like raw incenses and different kind of candles with the tarot. And today I'm just going to grab one of my favourite decks, the Wild Unknown, and just pick a card to help me kind of put a lens around my intention. So I know that my intention today is around the law of attraction, around harmony, working with today's Libra moon to have a think about what those words mean to me. What do they mean to me as we transit from the new moon into the full moon season, as we start to shift away from Taurus energy towards the next new moon, and in the interim to this Scorpio fullness. I'm shuffling really badly today. I'm just going to give those a shuffle on the floor. It's a little bit easier for me. And as with all esoteric work, the more you're thinking, focusing your intention, and then directing your attention, finding this balance between intention and attention. Attention is your energy and kind of vitality and power, and intention is the focus, and you need the two to work together for your meditation to take flight. So I'm putting my cards back together here, not particularly well. Terrible shuffling today. And I always like to split the deck 3 ways, put it back together, keeping my intention in my mind. And today, because we're working with the 7th house, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th card is the one I'm going to take to help inspire my meditation. And I've selected the Mother of Cups today, which is kind of fitting. Cups, the cup suit represent water as an element. The Mother of Cups is often seen as quite a kind of spiritual, esoteric being, kind of a psychic guide. So that fits quite nicely that I'm working with that and with my labradorite this morning. So I'm going to keep my card, my labradorite, my oils just to hand, keeping me focused. And if you're working with any of those tools, I invite you to do the same, just while I'm shifting a few of these bowls around to give us a bit more depth of sound. And what we always do in these sessions, they're half an hour long, so you have about 10 minutes of me just chattering away about the moon, about where it's at, giving you a few cues to work with. And then we get into about 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 today, of sound. So if you've never experienced sound before, this is a wonderfully accessible way into meditation, into stillness. People often find it kind of hard to get their brain around the idea that noise can somehow create silence, and that's where my brand comes from and my business name, Silence and Noise, because I couldn't figure that out either. And actually what's amazing is that within the noise is this very special, unique kind of silence. So I'm encouraging you all to use your tools, whether it's crystals, cards, or just a thought, an intention, a focus. to drive your meditation this morning, to find your own stillness and silence in the sounds. The effect of the sounds is that they do slow your brain waves down. They drop you from beta brain waves, which is your conscious mind, down into your subconscious, which is where most of our actual thinking and decision making comes from, but we tend not to engage with that. The subconscious is also heavily pre-programmed by our social conditioning, by what we've learned and been told. And it's really hard for us to change that programming without doing some particularly specific work in the area. So what sound does is it allows us into our subconscious mind and gives us the opportunity to do a bit of reprogramming, to change how we're thinking, how we're bringing our awareness into our conscious mind. And I think that's really magical and an amazing toolkit. So I'm just going to drop the camera down a touch so you guys can see the bowls a little bit. See one of them. I have them all lined up here, but it's suddenly so bright in my little gong room. And wherever you are, just let your eyes come to a soft close if you're joining me for meditation. If not, you can always watch back later or jump onto the website and catch this on demand. If you're working with your crystals and you like to start with them in your palm, now's a good time to take that position. Remember, your meditation doesn't have to be sat cross-legged. It can be sat or kneeling or lying down or just with your eyes closed wherever you are, at the kitchen table or in the garden. Try and leave behind all those ideas and expectations that you have to be a certain way to find stillness and relaxation. Taking a deep inhale, exhaling softly through the lips. Inhaling. Working with oils, maybe seeing if you can really feel in sensually and sensorially to the different scents and oils and essences that are in your environment. Maybe if you're in the garden, you're just smelling flowers or trees. And gently allow your attention and intention to connect. So your attention is energizing, it's drawing vitality and commitment and action into your intention, which is your focus. Today's moon is in Libra, harmony, balance, relationships, partnerships. It's a good time to think about your interactions with others, with one other person or a group of other people. And maybe if it serves you, your intention can sit in this area. Becoming aware once again of your physical being, navigating your way through the bones, the muscles, the aspects of the body that may have been switched off for the last 20 minutes or so. Creating space for breath to expand the lungs, to fill up the body once again. Maybe you feel called to take a stretch, giving the heart plenty of room to open in the chest. Maybe your shoulders are clicking like crazy, like mine are. And finding yourself back in some stillness, some quiet, some peace after your little mini sound journey. Calling to mind your intention if you are working with one today, and noticing any connection it has to the Libra energies of love, of harmony, of partnership. Perhaps noticing if any insights or messages along those lines have come your way in the course of this short journey today. And taking care to absorb those messages, perhaps to journal them down, or just take a moment as you come back to yourself to process what you might do with that new information that's found its way into your being today. And thank you for joining me for 30-minute meditation. Today we've been live on Facebook. This session then lives on demand on my website for a week, and then we put a new one up next week. Always exploring different platforms and channels, as we all are right now. So thank you if you have been on this session, whether it's live or sometime between now and May the 10th or 11th, or whenever it'll be up till. And do join us for full live soundscapes, which are on the new and full moons. The next one will be this Thursday, which is the 7th of May for Scorpio's full moon. So thank you for your energy, your awareness and your intention today. Drawing your hands to heart center if it serves you to do so.